Hello and welcome to Podcraft. We're joined by Matt.
Hello.
Who's over here, this direction. And we are going to ramble on for as long as we possibly can before we give up. That is the general idea of this series. Yeah. It's going to be a bit like a podcast, except you're going to have this wonderful video of me shaking my head like this.
I want to shake as well, but it's a bit awkward. I'm sort of doing my zombie dance.
So let's start off easy. How have you been today, buddy?
I've been alright. It's been a fairly relaxed day, to be honest. I haven't really done much.
No.
Cooked fajitas though, so it's a good day.
Any day with fajitas is better than a day without fajitas.
Yeah. Good day and all, I think.
Yeah, I can see that one.
Enjoyed by all.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
What did I have? I had turkey drummers. For dinner.
Yeah, but it's not fajitas, is it?
No, but I used to have them at primary school, and I loved them so much.
My God, I hate them. I hated them at primary school.
Mum would never let me have them at home, and then the second I moved out, I found out they still existed, and I bought a lifetime supply.
My freezer's got nothing but chips in it.
Frozen chips are the only real way. There's not much else you can really put with turkey drummers than frozen chips.
It's a bit wrong going with like nice potatoes and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Seems like a waste.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Some sort of mashed potato would just be weird. Although my problem with them is that no matter how long you cook them, they stay really soggy.
Yeah, that's why I don't like them. They're like to me, they're just like a crappy chicken nugget.
Well,
that's essentially what they are.
They are, yeah. They're just bigger chicken nuggets. But I kind of like the fact that they're just a slop, and you can just slop them on your plate.
I hated school dinners though. When I was little, I just didn't eat at school. I never ate, and then I got to about 15, realised what food was, got extremely fat.
We used to have these things at primary school on Fridays, and they were called Friday specials. And if you could, the good thing about them was that you didn't have to pay for school dinners. You could just pay an extra £1 and have Friday specials. And you got things like pizza and chips and chocolate pudding, or you got what else did we have? Stuff like that. But you could have it on Fridays, so you didn't have to take a packed lunch. And they were really good. But it was those pizzas that have the tomato sauce that's not really made out of tomatoes. Yeah. It's kind of really tangy and weird.
Yeah, well, I was given my mum's sandwiches, and if this beautiful podcast went on for long enough, we could get into talking about my mother's sandwiches and the diabolical state they are.
Yeah.
They're literally an abomination to the world. There was a time I was in London once, and my mum had made us, we were all having a nice little family day out. My mum had made us these beautiful sandwiches, and I sneakily threw one behind a wall, and we saw these pigeons, me and my brother, go behind the wall, and they sort of picked up this bit of sandwich and then left it and flew off. Not even the pigeon would eat it.
Oh wow, that's special.
I took one look and thought, well, I'll be damned if I'm eating that. That's awful.
What sandwich was it though? Was it a good sandwich? Just a good sandwich ruined, or was it?
It was. I think it was just a chicken sandwich with some lettuce in it.
Well, see, if it was something, I can't think of any examples of bad sandwiches because there aren't really any. But if it was bad ingredients, then it's okay to have it bad.
When I said I think it was a chicken sandwich, loosely translated, what that meant was I have not a clue. It could have been anything. Right. Pigeon didn't want it. So
well, yeah. I had this book when I was younger, and the story was that this guy kept getting tuna sandwiches for lunch. And he didn't like tuna sandwiches, but he wasn't a person, he was a cat, and that's why it was really strange. But he used to throw them over the wall, and they started disappearing, and it turned out that there was some other guy who did like tuna sandwiches. And then he started going to this spot every day to get these tuna sandwiches, and he always got peanut butter sandwiches, and he didn't like them, so he threw them over the wall. So they basically swapped their sandwiches every lunch and didn't realise. It was one of the best, it was one of the best books I've ever read.
My dad had a thing about pate sandwiches. Like when my parents were still together, my dad said I got pate for so long and he couldn't understand why. And one day he went in the fridge to make himself a sandwich, and he said he was getting really sick of it. But when he said he was getting sick of it, what he didn't realise was the pate had been in there open for 3 weeks. As you might have noticed, my parents don't really get on.
I don't really know what pate is, but it sounds horrible after 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's the only way to keep it for like a few days.
Oh.
It's basically meat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's not the best of sandwiches then.
They were probably the best sandwiches she's ever made.
Is she not really that much of a cook?
Oh no, she can cook. She's fine at cooking. Sandwich, no.
No.
Not a sandwich, not you sandwich.
See, my mum was good at cooking, but she's a really, really plain, boring eater. So she would only ever cook like potato, meat, vegetables, maybe some gravy. There would be never anything exciting. Never had any sort of fajitas or anything like that because she just wouldn't eat them. She'd like them if you tried them. She just wouldn't try them. Like she thought she'd like pizza, but she doesn't like cheese. But the thing was that she's never eaten cheese. She just has decided she doesn't like it, therefore she can't eat pizza.
That is dreadful.
Yeah, it's just.
It was not like pizza.
Well, yeah, there's that to it.
Like,
but
I know your mum likes her drink, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she needs to go home. She is drunk.
Pizza.
Yes,
doesn't like pizza.
I know, but that's kind of her views on anything to do with eating. She's got really good lately. She's started eating everything. All the crazy stuff that she'd never touch. She even tried squid or something crazy, which is pretty impressive considering.
Yeah.
Considering.
I think everyone sort of does that though. I mean, when I was really young, I mean, I was really, really, really fussy till I was about 11, and then my dad turned around to me one day and said, "We're not doing this anymore," and that was that. And now I eat everything. I wasn't given a choice, but
yeah,
I think it's kind of good for you, really. I think you should try new things. I think it's important.
I think it's very good. See, the problem I had was that I wouldn't get to try these new things because Mum wouldn't cook them because she wouldn't like them. But occasionally Dad would cook, and he'd cook. I don't remember what he even cooked. I don't remember any of the things. But then I had more interesting things, like I tried chili con carne, and we had Chinese food sometimes and things like that, which I would never have had if it was just down to my mum, because it's not what she's into.
Yeah, my mum just likes curry. She puts chili in everything. Since I moved out, I've noticed that everything's been tasting a little bit bland. One day I bought this pot of chili flakes and I was like, now I understand you're masking the fact that it could have been anything like a sandwich. But
did she put chili in sandwiches yet?
I don't know. If it comes between two bits of bread in that house, I don't eat it, so it doesn't matter, does it?
I guess that is one of the plus sides of living on your own. You get to choose your own sandwiches, and you can eat them, but then at the same time you have to make them and pay for the ingredients, and that's quite the downside.
Well, I think it's alright. I think maybe at some point we should explain what we're doing.
It's fine. It's a bit obvious.
You don't need to know. I mean, if they've got this far, you're not going to go away, are you?
If you've made it this far, then good job. We are essentially just rambling about things like a podcast. No, I think we did say this. We said this at the beginning. I swear we said this at the beginning.
I'm so sidetracked by the thought of my mother's sandwiches. They're sort of like we're just going to go for a few subjects.
One thing we probably should mention is we didn't build this house, so if you want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description. I can't remember who did build this. It's called Steve's Villa. I got it on Planet Minecraft, and it looks pretty cool.
Isn't it?
Well, maybe. It looks pretty cool. I like it.
He's put signs on everything in the way. There's a very annoying fashion.
There's a lot of signs, and I'm not sure why. I think we're in 1.6, so I can use this camera mod. So I think maybe it was a 1.7 feature that was on the signs, but I'm not really sure. Leave it out, mate.
What, do you want to say it's outside?
I'm trying to record a video.
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah. Always starting with your...
Yeah.
God.
So what we've done then is, because we're not very good at this whole subject thing, we've got ourselves a little website, and it's going to give us some random subject prompts so we can try and talk about. Well, what one do you want to go for? We got 4 up. Which one do you want to choose?
We'll go for the effects of video games.
Effects of video games.
Effects of video games.
Well,
what would you say is a primary effect?
Primary effects. I'll tell you one thing though that I have read about that it doesn't seem to get covered very often, and that is that everybody is convinced that video games are bad for children because it makes them violent and beat their mothers and stuff. But there's actually quite a few articles that disprove the whole thing, but they don't ever seem to get popular.
Yeah, no, I read something about psychologists, and they this whole thing, like some kid watched Chucky or something and then went out and killed someone in the same way as something happened in a film. And I know there's a film, not a video game, but it's the same principle.
Yeah, it's media.
Same principle.
Yeah.
But psychologists prove that actually it's not possible for a video game to influence someone like that. It has to be an underlying thing which is then brought out by being subjected to the video game. Yeah. Which is kind of interesting. But
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
At the same time, if you have swearing in video games and stuff like that, for young kids, they will pick that up. Which I think maybe isn't the best thing. But then,
it depends on how you look at it, because you've got to think that if you can't shelter a child from swear words completely their whole life, it's never going to work.
Understand right from wrong at some point.
And there's that to it as well. They need to learn the swear words to know that they're not allowed to say them.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, otherwise they're probably not going to. But I think it's very interesting that the articles that say oh, it's not really that bad. You can play video games if you're a child. You won't kill people. Well, no, that's it's not 100% true. I've seen. I don't remember where I've seen them. I've seen them in places and read them because they were interesting. But I think it's funny how they never hit the front of the media. But if somebody plays Grand Theft Auto and then drives a plane into a house, then it's because they play Grand Theft Auto and it's all over the news. But when a scientist makes some sort of discovery that actually it's nothing to do with the fact they played the game, it doesn't touch the news.
Hushed over, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's quite...
I think a lot of it is probably just because of the way the media works now. There's a lot of it is, if you hear about a kid that's killed someone from playing Grand Theft Auto, blah 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 blah, it's a lot more of a shocking story, and that's shocking things sell. That's why they do it.
Especially with the way most of this kind of stuff passes over social networks and stuff now, and nobody's going to post to their friends, "Hey, look what I found! A scientist proved something," but they're likely to say, "Hey, look what happened! This guy tried to play Manhunt and is now choking people with plastic bags." That's much more likely to be sent across a social media kind of thing. So.
To be honest, I always find that a plastic bag isn't really the right tool for the job. But
no, but that's
the things these games are teaching kids these days. Is just
at least be factually correct. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Is just the point there. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. People. I think a lot of. I think one of the reasons why I like video games is it's like escapism almost. You can open up a game and do whatever, and then, especially with things like, obviously we both play a lot of Minecraft. You can open it up and you can a little bit. Yeah. You can open it up and sit and have fun with your friends, but at the same time you can do something. You know, you can build something or do something that's worth your time, or you can just muck around. Yeah. You have all that options.
Especially with the options with servers and stuff, you can actually physically play with friends and meet people. And I think what's really cool is that they've started integrating a lot of Minecraft with education, and they're actually using it to teach and stuff in some countries, which is really, really cool.
I saw they were using it. They were using Redstone for circuits and stuff to teach kids how some circuits work.
Yeah, from what I know, it's quite accurate, the whole logic stuff.
It's not far off.
Actual circuitry.
It's not far off.
It's pretty interesting stuff.
It's basically like a big, overcomplicated Lego game, isn't it? Really?
Well, yeah, it's not far off. It is a lot like a virtual Lego.
Yeah, kids these days. I don't know how good they got it today. Don't know. Buy bloody Minecraft. When I was 7. I didn't have a Game Boy when I was 7.
I think the main thing, right? I think the main thing that they've got over not having real Legos is that they will never feel the pain of standing on a piece of Lego.
Plug socket was the worst. Doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah, plug socket is worse, but they can't stand. Well, I guess you could stand on your laptop, but that's more heartbreaking than
11-year-olds
physical
all have
pain.
laptops these days.
They do though, don't they?
No, I was in the airport. Bloody hell! And there's this kid sat there, and there's this woman, and she's got 3 kids, and they're all sat there with iPads, with all with different colours on, which match their outfits. And I'm looking at them going, I would love to drown you.
Yeah.
I do not even care. It makes me so angry. It's great for them though, If I had kids, and I had the money to give them an iPad, I probably would.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think that's ultimately
if you could have paid to have it repaired 4 times a year.
Well, yeah. I think the thing with that is the way that the children see their friends having it, so then they have to have it. But then their friends see them with it, so then they have to have it, and it spreads like wildfire.
Crying all bloody night.
Yeah.
I want an iPad.
Yeah, that's it.
Just shut up.
It's different now because of how much stuff has developed. That
it's amazing. I mean, they don't know any different. They see it everywhere they go. But why shouldn't they have it?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's like if all our friends had Lego, so we had Lego. And that's what it was.
And I think with all of the kind of advances with technology and stuff, back then we had Game Boys, and that was like the most incredible thing that will ever be made. And now I say equivalent, but the equivalent really now is tablets and such. And they are much more powerful, and that's just how much they cost. So I guess in equivalent, it's kind of the same. They just cost a lot more.
I think the saddest thing about all of it though is, it's great. It's got a lot of pros and cons and stuff, but I think the worst bit is they'll never understand the original Zelda games.
Yeah.
and Pokemon Red.
It does upset me how many people I've spoke to, and they're like, "Oh man, I really like playing Zelda."
Yeah, but
yeah. How's did you play Ocarina of Time? Oh no, I haven't played any of that. Oh, I played Skyward Sword, and that's about it. And then, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying there's so much more to it. There's so many better games in the series, but they just get looked over because nobody has an N64 or GameCube anymore. And that's a shame.
But it's just time, isn't it? It's like it's like books. Mind you, with books, it's slightly different actually, because people still sit down and read Shakespeare, don't they?
I don't think books really date the same way as games, though.
No, they don't, do they?
Yeah. The format that you can get them on, like Kindles and such, I guess, do. But it's always the same words on a page. So I guess
I don't know. I think video games have got a lot of good effects and bad effects. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that. Well, they do like TED Talks and stuff on Netflix.
Yes, I have seen those.
There was a woman on there. She gave a 15-minute presentation on how video games actually increase your lifespan. And how they can actually make you live longer. If I can find it, we'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It was quite interesting actually. I mean, I was just on Netflix and found it. I was like, let's calling hacks on this one.
It's one thing I really like about TED. If there's ever a way to waste hours of your day, TED is the best way and most educational way to do it.
Sometimes it's just so annoying because you do get some right plonkers on there, don't you?
You do get some people who must be a little bit high, but
you're looking at thinking, I have come all the way to sit and listen. I mean, oh Jesus Christ, some of them are right nutters. But it was quite interesting. She found a logical way of actually proving that it does.
That's interesting.
And it was apparently it's really good for your mental health.
All right,
especially online games.
I've heard the whole it makes your reactions faster and logical ways of thinking and such, but I think that's more just muscle memory than actually playing the game and stuff.
No, that's what I think. It's the same if you bashing keys on your keyboard. It's the same thing as picking up a guitar and pressing it all day.
Yeah, you would get better with reactions and time. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's all very interesting.
Most certainly is.
There's a lot of different views on it, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what it is. There's a lot of opinions, and then there's the opinions that people don't want to hear. Like, people don't want to be told that their kids can play video games without killing people, because then they have no reason to tell their kids not to play video games. I think that becomes a big part of it.
I think a lot of the problem, I think, is that we are now completely desensitized to things like violence.
Yeah, very much so.
Compared to like 50 years ago, when there was like all the napalm strikes in Vietnam, and they posted a picture of a girl who'd just been burnt all over, and that pretty much stopped the war. Yeah. And now you see that in the paper. Yeah. Nobody even remembers it.
Yeah. If you really open the internet, then that happens. It's there.
It's there on Google, and nobody cares.
Do anything. Yeah.
It's like
it's very true.
Most people will look at extreme violence now on YouTube and stuff, and they'll either do one of two things: laugh or say it's fake.
Yeah.
And nobody really cares anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, when I watched Taken, it's just an action film. It really hit me hard. I was like, Jesus Christ! Imagine if you had that daughter.
Yeah,
mate.
Yeah,
I'd have killed them all twice as bad.
Yeah,
I wouldn't, because I'm not.
Well,
I am. I'd obviously. I'm the artist, but
if you were Liam Neeson, then you would have killed them harder. Is that what you're? Yeah.
If I was Liam Neeson with a camera crew, I'd have killed them harder.
If there was no camera crew, then no one would ever know. So it'd be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Get away with it.
Yeah, I'll get my pigs.
Tip of the day.
Yeah.
If you wanna murder the people who kidnapped your children,
give Liam Neeson a call.
Be Liam Neeson.
Make sure you are him.
And then get rid of all the cameras.
If you're not, go home.
If you're not,
she's not worth it.
Not worth it.
She's not worth it. Just have another one. It's easy enough.
Yeah. It's no pain.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
Especially if you're married to her.
Yeah. Well, should we find another subject? Let's find another one.
What's next?
Let's choose one more. I don't know how long. Yeah, we're running fairly long. Let's choose one more. Let's get one more in. Which one do you fancy?
I'll let you choose this one.
What have we got? What about... Let's go for something you lost. What was something you lost when you were a kid that really, really upset you?
What have I lost when I was a kid?
Because all I can think of, and I didn't lose it when I was a kid, so it's a little bit more embarrassing. But I had a very nice collection of Pokemon cards, right? And I had a little folder for all of my best ones, like my shiny Charizard and my lot. And I had a box full of all of my other ones. And I've managed to lose that folder with all my best ones in. Heartbroken.
How are you still here? How'd you get up in the morning?
I don't.
Well, evidently you did.
Well, yeah, I do.
IRL, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but it's I don't know what it was. It's a very upsetting day.
I just don't know how'd you ever get over something like that, I think.
Oh, yeah, okay, it sounds trivial, but I don't know. If I was still a kid and I realised I lost them, I would have been it. What is there to live for?
Yeah.
If you lose your Pokemon cards.
I mean, I had Pokemon cards. I always wanted one of those plastic wallet things. And my mum said, oh no, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money. And then she handed me one of those Ziploc bags and said, there you go, stop throwing them around the living room. And that's what I got given.
Well, did it work?
No.
Oh, you threw the bag around the living room with the cards.
Yep. I actually broke the bag. I remember the zip came off. Little things that went along.
Yeah, I remember
put your homework in.
Yeah, I remember those.
That was a day. I mean, Pokemon cards are the best, but I don't think I ever really lost any. I remember trading one with someone once, And this kid went home and then said to his brother, "Oh, blah blah blah, I've done this today." And he got really hacked off because he got a real rough deal because I'm a bit of a knob. And he came in the next day, blah 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 blah, and that was it really. I was like, well, a bit late now, mate.
Yeah.
I ain't got any more. Swapped it on, trick of the trade.
Yeah.
It's gone.
So it is.
Sold that motor yesterday, didn't I?
Sold that motor last week.
Shut, you done me. I don't know. I mean, I used to have like when I was born, I was given like a little cat toy. It was like a puppet thing.
Mm-hmm.
I called it Pat the Cat. So I like placement Pat.
Yeah.
As you can understand, he had a black and white cat. So.
Oh, he did. So what more?
Yeah, exactly. And so I called the cat Pat because the cat didn't have a name.
I mean, obviously the cat wasn't the postman, so the cat wasn't actually Pat. But
yeah, exactly. But it was like a tribute.
I like the. It was unique, man.
It was good. But I was at my grandparents once, and Jazz laughing because my grandparents are pretty special. My granddad is a bit of a joker. So I was there. I must have been about maybe 4 or 5 or something, and it's haunted me to this day. I mean, much like the Pokemon cards, but I did get it back. I didn't lose it. I did get it back in the end. But my granddad, I lost it in my grandparents' house, and I got home. About a 2-hour drive between where I live and my grandparents. So I got home and I said to my mum, "Mum, Pat the Cat's not here. I've lost it."
That must have been heartbreaking.
My mum came to the conclusion that it came out of the car. And next time I went to my grandparents, about 2 months later, I was looking around the house. My grandparents used to have all this fancy like silver plates and stuff, and one of them was like one of those turkey trays, and it's got the thing that you lift off it, the big silver, an upside down bucket
like a
thing.
platter.
Yeah, that's the one. And I was playing around, and it used to be under the cupboard, and it wasn't there. I didn't think I remembered it, and I lifted it up, and there was my cat staring me right in the bloody eyes. And I looked at my granddad and I said, "I found Pat the Cat." And he laughed and walked off. And it was in that moment I knew what sort of person he was.
Oh man, that's cruel.
It was horrible, and I've never forgiven him to this day.
I don't think I would either.
My granddad used to I couldn't get out from the table when we had dinner at my nan's, and I used to go under the table.
Yeah,
he used to kick me under the table when I was trying to get past, and he'd stamp on my feet so I couldn't move.
Are you trying to tell me you were abused as a child?
No, he never it was never in a violent way.
No,
so
I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was abused.
Oh.
I wasn't. I'm sorry if you're abused, but
he stole your cat, and
he stole my cat. Yeah,
that's enough emotional abuse for one child.
I just don't. I'm getting pretty emotional here, so I think we should move on. I
think we should. In fact, I think we should probably call it there.
Yeah, maybe.
I think we've been going for a good fair while. I probably should have started a timer. That'd have been a little bit handy.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I think we'll call it there.
I think we're going to assume that anyone that is watching this has probably got a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah. Probably gone by now.
Yeah, you probably. If you got to the end of this video, please leave a comment.
Yeah. Well, just let us know.
Yeah.
We'll probably do it again anyway.
If you've got any subjects that you want discussed, that'd be interesting.
Throw that down there as well.
Yeah, we'll probably do a few.
Yeah. I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah.